Thank you. Whoo, I'm so grateful. So grateful. Divine order, divine guidance, divine energy, divine love. Wow, so many possibilities of the divine. I can't hold them all. I can't hold them all. So I want to embrace the possibility that this is going to be an amazing message. About 5 before 10, or 10 before 10, I had not considered the possibility of my computer not communicating with the printer, in which contained today's message. It's an interesting system. It needs a wireless internet, which depends on a computer modem and a router and all these things. But when we looked into it, finally, like about 3 minutes before 10, there was an option, communicate directly with the printer. That's what we need to do, communicate directly with God. We go through all of this crazy rigmarole, right? We make up all of this incredible process that we need to go through to be happy. And when we can just be happy for no reason at all, or for every reason, or any reason, because you were born in happiness. The universe is here for you to be happy. When I was a young child and I'd go to the guidance counselor and they'd say, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" First of all, I didn't consider the idea that I was going to grow up. I didn't really like that idea. But when I thought about it, I told them, I want to be happy when I grow up. Well, what do you want to do? And I'm like, what do you mean, what do I want to do? Well, do you want to be a fireman, a policeman, a doctor, a lawyer? Like, what are the other possibilities? Are there any other possibilities than the ones you're presenting to me? Because all of those are in such a small parameter, I can't get my mind to fit into. I'm a young kid, I can decide what I'm going to do. I think I was in 6th grade. What are you talking about? I'm going to let life unfold. This is the thoughts that were going through my mind for the very first time. When presented with the question, what do you want to be? What do you want to do? I want to be happy. What do you want to do? Well, what are the possibilities? That's what I want to ask each and every day. What are the possibilities? Many of us have gotten to the point where we're holding on to past. We're holding on to past grievances and experiences and traumas and conflicts and things that weren't so nice. And we're holding on to them. We haven't released them because we pushed them down, and we're holding on to them within the cells of our body, and we're holding on to them in memory, and beneath our conscious mind, we're holding on to them in subconscious. And it's every bit as important to release the past as it is to release the future. There's Carol, right, Carol? It's just as important to release the future because I'm afraid of what's going to happen. And I need to get past that to feel the freedom to embrace the possibilities. What could happen? What is happening right now? In our quest for peace, in our quest for prosperity, abundance, health, harmony, wholeness, we have to release the past because our brains cannot tell the difference between something that's happening here in manifestation or if it's just happening in our brain. And we react emotionally and we decide what we're going to do, who we're going to be, how we're going to interact by what's going on in our brains. And it sometimes doesn't have anything to do with what's really happening. I was reading this week, I looked this guy up on the internet, and he is amazing about possibilities. His name is David R. Hamilton. He's a PhD. He's an expert in the fields of organic chemistry, brain chemistry, and neuroscience. And his inspiration was taken from the placebo effect. Such a cool thing. You guys heard of the placebo effect? They've done many studies where they give a control group a medication or something, and the other group just gets a placebo. And quite often, many times, it has the same effect, sometimes better. More people are healed from the placebo because in their brain, they're believing, this is going to do it. I'm going to be healed. So it's the same with the medications that we take. We think, it's going to work. This is going to happen. And so it does. So what if we just go to the placebo first? The greatest story I heard about the placebo was, this is really cool. They took people with knee problems, and they would make a small incision, and then they'd sew it up. They didn't do anything. They didn't do anything. They said, come back in 3 weeks. And, we did the operation, come back in 3 weeks. And they go, wow, it feels great. You're such a great doctor. The placebo was happening physically. They were healing their knees. They took x-rays and found ligaments and cartilage being healed, and all of these things were occurring because the mind was saying, yes, I'm healed. Because the body is in the mind, not the other way around. You think the mind is in the body, and the body's telling the mind what to think. And that's why the past is controlling you, or you're limited in your possibilities. We have a great unity teacher, Eric Butterworth, who's... Oh, wait a minute. I got to go back to this guy. Because I want you to look him up if you're interested in this. He's written a bunch of books. These are just some of his books. Are you ready for these titles? The 5 Side Effects of Kindness. I Love Me, The Science of Self-Love. The biggest selling book right now, the one that was not available on Amazon this week, How Your Mind Can Heal Your Body. That's his biggest seller. Why Kindness is Good for You. The Contagious Power of Thinking. Secret Rules for Attracting What You Want. And Choice Point, Align with Your Purpose. And a book called It's the Thought That Counts. Why Mind Over Matter Really Works. Sounds like a list of unity sermons to me.
What's his name?
His name is David R. Hamilton, Ph.D. Hamilton, like the guy who's on the $10 bill. Are we getting the $20 bill is going to change, right? The Harriet Tubman or somebody? They're going to have a new 20. I don't know. I think we're getting more conscious. We can focus on all the unconsciousness we want and all the division, but I think we're getting more conscious and we're coming together. And everything should be pushing you in that direction. If not, then you need to retrain your mind. You need to retrain your brain and stop telling yourself the same old stories. The reason that the division has been so evident and so incredibly obvious in our country is because we're sick and tired of it. It's because we're not going to stand for it any longer. That's why. It's because something else is happening. A good teacher of mine in the Unity program, in the Unity Ministerial program, told me that conflict is simply something that's waiting to be born. It's showing you something that's waiting to be born, to be birthed. We are giving birth to a new consciousness. And it doesn't matter how you view it. If you're viewing it from the past, of course, it's going to seem horrible. You're going to be complaining about it. People, when I was a kid, they also told me, when I asked why are we fighting in Vietnam, they said, people have always had wars, and we always will have wars. And I was only like this big little kid, and I said, no, that's not true. Because I don't like war, and I've seen people come back from Vietnam, and they're not very happy when they get back. And I think it's a good idea to stop that. Let's stop doing that. Why not? I don't think it's a great idea. Well, we need this to protect. I don't care what you think. Your brain is... don't believe everything you think, okay? Your brain is giving you information based on past and limiting results that have hurt you. So you're acting out of fear. And what we are learning in Unity is to act out of love. Amen? Amen. Thank you. Thank you. And our way shower Jesus said the same thing. He said, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and all these things that you want will be added unto you. All the peace, the joy, the happiness that you seek is already here. It will be added unto you if you seek ye first the kingdom of heaven. Charles Fillmore, co-founder of Unity, defines the kingdom of heaven as Jesus did, your higher consciousness. The higher realms of your mind called superconsciousness. That's the kingdom of heaven. It's not a place, it's not a condition. According to A Course in Miracles, it is merely an awareness of perfect oneness. Wow, I heard somebody say, wow, heaven is actually an awareness. And it's an awareness of perfect oneness. One of our favorite authors, now I'll get to him, Eric Butterworth. His famous Unity author said, seeing is not believing. Believing is seeing. What you believe is what you are seeing. Take it in. What are you seeing? What are you talking about? What are you seeing in the world? What are you putting out there? That's what you believe. You will only see the world and things not as they are, but as you are. That's how it is. That's because the mind does not distinguish between what is held in mind and what is in manifestation. So what is held in mind becomes what is held in manifestation. So the greatest mistake that we make is believing that we are only human. In fact, we are human in expression, but we are divine in nature. We are divine in creation. We are divine in truth. And we are limitless in potential. So if we want to express in our human nature that divine limitless potential, we have to believe that that's what we are. Our greatest mistake, according to Eric Butterworth, is believing that we are only human. We forget that we are divine in creation or in nature. Our true nature, our essential nature is divine. And that's what makes us limitless in potential as creators. Don't wait for the universe to create it for you. You're creating it by the power of your mind. We are limitless in potential. It is consciousness that sets all limits in life, if there are any. Because in truth, there are not any limits. It is only our consciousness that sets those limits. And I would rather be unlimited in consciousness, because where you are in consciousness has everything to do with what you see in your experience of the world, in your experience of life. You know, when someone comes to me and they say, I'm really struggling or I have a problem, I say, okay, what's going on inside? What's going on in your heart and mind? Let's take a moment to allow that to take on a new possibility. In order to do that, I think we need to clear out what's blocking and what's in there already. Because more important than learning how to recall things is finding ways to forget the things that are cluttering our mind. We're trying to remember, what did I read last week in that? I read about 4 books last week. I've got the prosperity book going. I've got the inspirational speaking going. Now I discovered this new guy about the mind and the brain and all this stuff going. And rather than trying to remember all the details, what I'm attempting to do is let go of all the clutter and receive the essence of the power of the truth. These are people who dedicate their lives to truth and finding ways to express that truth in the world. And it's up to you to do the same thing. So Let's forget all those things that are cluttering up our mind. Because there's only way to achieve this true prosperity, and that's to take charge of our mind. True prosperity means you're not worried about anything ever again. Anything. I'm not worried. I'm not in fear about anything. This has been the most fearful year of my entire life. Well, since 2016, and I won't tell you why. But it includes not only what's happening in the world, but, I had the fear of my mom's getting older and she's going to make her transition. And I'm really attached to, hugging and being close to her physically. That's, and I've never had to deal with that. And so I'm dealing with a new level of letting go into the mystery, the infinite possibilities of what is beyond the body, what is beyond the manifestation. And attempting to stay there and allow the manifestation of it to be what it is, to be happy, and to show me more possibilities of that happiness. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back in time to when my computer wasn't talking to the printer, and I had some fear. No message. Now what do? I'll just have to remember. It wasn't going to happen that I was going to remember everything I wrote on those 3 pages. So I said, I'll have to wing it. Now I don't even remember the guy's name. So I'm on my phone, and I'm nervously Googling, I think it's Hamilton. Okay. I think it was David Hamilton. Oh, great, I remembered. So then all his books come up. I'm not going to remember this. So I said, okay, we're having a different message. That's when my computer said I could talk to the printer directly. So finally, I took charge of my mind. I was going off into fear. And that's what we do. We go off into fear. Well, this means this, and this means that. We're all going to die. And I don't think that's the message that I want to impart today. Life is eternal. Life is eternal. And you are absolutely expressing the divine in your humanness if you're connected to the fact that you are divine, that we are divine in nature and divine in creation. Then the expression will take care of itself. But if I truly want to cultivate this prosperity of expressing God in everything I do in greater and greater amounts, and to really be what I told that guidance counselor I wanted to be, which is happy, I'm going to have to take control of my mind. Take charge of your mind. Because even one life that bears witness to this is going to quicken. See, this is a law, a spiritual law. Prosperity is not just about money. It's about energy. Money's just energy anyway. We give it a lot of energy, but we give it a lot of fearful energy. And one person that releases their fear and is witness to the truth of these spiritual laws will quicken the consciousness of the whole community. And quite often, if I'm in fear, somebody else, Kathy or Anne Marie, who's back from Florida, or Bruce or Jack or Ori or anybody, any one of you, and many of you, all of you at one point or another, has helped to bring me back into the consciousness of spiritual law. Because I demand that of myself. And if I demand that of myself, those are the witnesses that I will get. So the next thing is, this is a long one. But it's really important to remember the whole of God is present at every moment, in every space, in every time. We take time to meditate on this, that all of God, all of the universe, spirit, all the infinite possibilities of the quantum realm, all of it is present right here, right now. Right here, where you are. Release the past, release the future, please. And meditate that God is here now. All of it. Because God doesn't come and go. God isn't capricious. It doesn't come and go capriciously. It doesn't move substance up from God's realm down to our realm. No, we are all in God's realm right now. All the substance is here now. It's divine substance. And your manifestation of it is up to you, right? This is unity principles. Divine substance is here now. God's not saying, oh, I'm going to take divine substance and bring it down and give it to you. No, I don't think, you got too much. You got way too much. I'm taking it from you and give it to you. It's not like that. All of it is here now. And we are manifesting exactly at the level of our consciousness. It's amazing how powerful you truly are. God is not answering prayers in some kind of coming forth. It's always present. It's always a presence. It's never absent. That's the power of affirmative prayer, in which we're going to have another training session really soon. June 2nd is our next prayer training right here at 10 a.m. You're going to be there, that one. Okay. I see you. I see you because it's so powerful, it's so beautiful to use affirmations to bring forth not only the things that you want, but when I say things, I'm talking about experiences, the feelings that I want to experience. I'm talking about the condition of mind, the condition of my life. Not so much the details, because the details are always going to work out themselves eventually in the best possible way for the highest good for you, if that's what you're focused on. But if you're not really clear that that's what you want, guess what? It's not what you're going to get. If you're really clear that you want the highest good for yourself and everyone else, that's what you will get. That's what will happen. Because that's the law of the universe. So we are all human in expression, but we're divine in creation. In nature, we are divine. And what else? Limitless in potential. Limitless. So embrace the possibilities, my friends, and decide to be happy. Decide to embrace all the possibilities and allow it to be exactly what you want, what you need, what you desire each and every moment, because it's present here now. And the power's in your hands. It's yours. Do with what you want. This is your universe. I love you guys. Be blessed. Be a blessing.
You have been watching the message from our Sunday celebration service here at Unity on Cape Cod, providing a positive path for spiritual living. Please join us every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. at 147 Walton Ave, Hyannis, Mass. And visit us online at www.unityoncapecod.org.